Welcome to our fourth video of our 4-part series. So this is breaking down camp. The first thing I want to do is bring my jacks up. I do that before I bring my slides in or anything else. Jacks are up, and now I'd like to start the engine to put the coach to ride height. Just so you know, I've already checked my engine oil, my coolant, and my tire pressure. I did that in video 2, so I didn't want to be repetitive and do that all over again. Just make sure you watch video 2 because you do that anytime whenever you're leaving in your coach. So I've done that. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the engine so I can bring the coach to ride height and bring in my slides. So I've started the coach. I'm going to bring it to high idle to air up the coach. Now that the coach is aired up, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my slides. Now I'm going to go outside and start disconnecting my hoses. So I'm going to do everything in reverse. Again, I want to unplug my electric before I start messing with the water. Got my gloves on, ready to go. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to flip my breaker off. Again, just safety is no accident. And then I'm going to unplug. I'm going to unplug here, unplug. I'm going to go to my pant cord, pull it out there. Now typically I like to grab a paper towel. Hold on real quick because I want to keep everything nice and clean. So I'm just going to wrap this around the cord. As it comes in, I'm going to be wiping it off as it goes in. Now, it's not very dirty today, but sometimes it's going to be, I might have multiple towels to keep it clean. And that way I can kind of guide it in as it goes in as well. And now all that is not my coach. And then I'm going to put the surge guard protector in there. And I'm just going to tuck that right in there. Now I'm going to dump the tanks. Now, if this weren't a new coach, typically I know my CEO, I know my seasoned customers all put a splitter off here so they can just turn that water off here and direct it over to your sewer flush. Since it's brand new, we don't have that, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my water and then hook a hose up here to my sewer flush. So we're going to come over here, turn off the water, disconnect our filter here. All right, so I want to get that off. Pull out that water. The first thing I want to do is put this cap on to keep my hose clean. I don't want dirt and anything getting in there because that's the water that's going to be going into my coach. So I'm going to cap that off nice and tight. And I'm going to grab another paper towel. Do the same thing I did with my 50 amp cord so that as it goes in, I'm cleaning it off. I want to make sure I get the water pressure and my filter. I'm just going to go ahead and keep them together. Just trying to keep water out of the coach. Wipe everything down. Put that right underneath my paper towels. And now I'm going to hook up the hose for my sewer flush. All right, I'm going to slowly turn that on. Make sure I've got a good connection. All right, so I want to put a little bit of water into my macerator from my gray tank. So it's, you know, your macerator is like a garbage disposal, so you want to have a little liquid in there So I'm just going to turn that on. Put a little water in there. And then turn it off. Then I'm going to turn my macerator on and open my black tank. It's showing me that it's 85% full, so I'll just kind of watch that and wait till it's empty. All right, so my black tank is empty. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the valve so that I can fill it up again so that I can flush it. So I want to put fresh water into that tank. Usually on a Cornerstone it takes about 14 minutes. Every coach is going to vary, so you're just going to want to watch it closely, but I'm going to set my timer for about 13-14 minutes to see when that's full. All right, I can see that it's full, so now I'm going to turn my water off at the spigot and then turn my black tank on to dump it. So my black tank is empty. I'm going to turn that off. Now I want to wash that out again, my stinky slinky with my gray tank, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on to flush it. All right, so my gray tank is empty. I'm going to turn off the macerator and turn off my gray tank and get things all put away now. So I'm going to disconnect my hose here at the sewer flush in case I need to wash off my stinky slinky or anything. I've got water that I can do that with. Put that cap back on here. All right, I'm going to just start feeding this stinky slinky back into its compartment, and then I'll go and unhook it. I'm going to put the cap back on. And tuck that away in there. All right, so now I'm going to disconnect this hose. I like to store it in a bucket. I know it's clean water, but I don't like to have water leaking out into my bays from the hose, so I'll store it in here. All right, so now for a little bit more dirty talk. Let's just talk about macerators versus a gravity dump. So I showed you how to do a dump with a macerator, but really probably most of you, and over the years I've done way more the gravity dumps than a macerator. So I wanted to talk about what's important. I like to use a clear elbow so that you can hook that on to where you're dumping, and then you can see what's coming through. If you've got lots of shards of paper and it's clumpy, lumpy, so you just hook this. Now on this coach, it has the macerator, so I would hook this elbow up underneath here and pull this lever here. But on most coaches, it's going to sit right here, so you're going to be able to use that elbow and you'll be able to see exactly what's happening with your tank as you're doing that gravity dump. A little RVing tip. So at National Indoor RV Centers, we recommend that you put microblaze in your black and your gray tank. And these are microbes that actually eat the sediment and stuff in your tank. So you're not going to get erroneous readings on your sensors, because it's going to keep your tank clean. And basically, if you were to do a gravity dump, if you were to use that clear elbow, you would see that it's all liquid coming out of your black tank. There's no chunks or shards of paper. So this is super important, and there are actually microbes in here. I'm going to show you here at the bottom. You can see how it's dark there. So those are the actual microbes. Now when you go to use this, you want to make sure that you mix those microbes in. Don't shake the bottle, just gently put it up and down, and then you're just going to squeeze the top there and fill this, and then you're going to put that in your tank. All right, so I've brought up my jacks, I've checked all my vitals, I've brought in my slides, disconnected all my hoses. Now I'm just going to go around and check all the doors, make sure they're closed, and I'll see you on down the road.